and welcome to another exciting episode of Hidden in the Universe of All. I'm Ron, your host, and how do you guys like the new background I have? I decided to put up two movie posters to kind of give it more of a background, or more of like decor, but to give an awesome background. These are basically two of the movies I do like. One's a great movie, and one was actually a sequel I cover on the channel, which I do have that review, and both of them are up on the channel. But we're not talking about those movies, but we are going to kick off October as we take a look at another film. This is the second movie I'm covering from director Brian De Palma. So the movie I'm covering is one of his horror, not really horror, but this is more thriller. I guess you can probably call it a horror thriller-ish, but more suspense. You just have to watch it for yourself. The movie I'm taking a look at is John Lithgow, Lala Davidovich, alongside Stephen Breyer and Francis Sturhagen, 1992's Raising Cain. Now, Raising Cain's a movie I had a while in the collection, and I wasn't sure if this disc was going to play, but I did play this disc, and I really like the movie. And well, I take that back. This movie was just generic. But generic is what I'd probably say about this movie. So let's talk about Raising Cain. So the movie basically, the movie stars John Lithgow. He plays a man named Carter Nix. So he's a doctor who basically, he's a doctor. But he finds weird things. He's also has this split personality. So he one side sees another guy, then he reconnects with his father. So right at the beginning of the film, we see them get back from the park, and they're driving home, and all of a sudden, he decides he wants to murder his wife. So he tries to attempt to murder his wife. Then we get the split personality. I'm thinking it's his brother, but we get Cain, who's sort of like his split personality. It's just essentially a Jekyll and Hyde. He's basically a Jekyll and Hyde all into one. That's really what Carter Nix. So he keeps seeing him, and decides he wants to give advice. So it's kind of like the good and bad conscience. So that's that character. So that's the evil side of him. Then we get his father, also played by Lithgow. So his dad, and he's having these arguments, and he's just spewing out obscenities to his father, and he's telling him to demand to do these things. Turns out his wife, played by Lolita Davidovich. Yeah, Lolita Davidovich. I'm probably going to get the last name, but she plays his wife. So they're taking their two kids home. Their two kids are heading home for the day. So he tries to murder her in all kinds of different ways. So it turns out that she's having an affair with another man, played by Stephen Brower. Stephen Brower, who also was in a De Palma film before that, Scarface. So that's his character. He plays the guy who's going to date Davidovich's character, Cain's, Carter's wife. That's that character. Then we sort of get another character. We get a doctor played by Francis Sternhagen. So we get her in it, and it's generic. I was really liking this movie at first. I'm not saying this movie's bad. It kept me hooked to the very end. There's some really strong moments, and we'll get to the strong moments when I get into the positives. So that's pretty much that character. So, and we get what Carter Nix is up to doing. He's up to do no good things. So he tries to murder his wife in many different ways. So he tries to suffocate her with a pillow. He tries to drown her in a moving car. Just all that crazy stuff. So he sees these things. Again, it's a split personality Jekyll and Hyde story. And again, I'm not saying this movie's bad. The ending just was like, huh. It was like one of those like moments like, whoa, and I realized, that's it? That's the ending? Yeah, a pretty bad ending that, oh, that, the ending hurt this movie. I really wanted to like Raising Cain, but I went out thinking the ending went out with a whimper. I'll just say that. I will give the big positive. Let's talk about the positives. I'm trying to think of anything else. So, I want to mention about the doctor, Francis Sternhagen's character. So, Carter goes to the police station and he's trying to like sympathy and buddy up to the cops. But some of the cops are not really believing him. And at times, so like you feel bad for him, you feel kind of sad. But there's one scene where it would be like this, and another scene would be like, and then go back to that. So he'll do that sort of narcissistic, kind of like a narcissist that's taken into the police and interrogating. That's Carter Nix in that scene. So he goes to the sketch artist that does the mugshots, that does the sketches. So he's trying to find out and realize it's Stephen Brer's character. So they're trying to do all kinds of ways, and he kind of does that. There's also a lot of premonitions. The wife has a premonition, and she's hanging out with the guy, so he sees things. It sort of crisscrosses through that. What is Carter going to do next? What is Carter going to do next? And really, that's essentially what it boils down to here is a decent movie with an awful ending. Let's get to the big positive. John Lithgow is fantastic. John Lithgow saved this movie. He is so sinister. When he's Carter Nix, you feel bad for the guy. When he's the other guy, you feel like you feel like he's so sinister. It's like, man, they made his second character into a monster. They essentially took what would be, he was this really nice guy, to turn him into one giant monster. And he freaks him out. And yeah, it's crazy. Then he, like I said, goes and meets up with Francis Sternhagen, who's like the doctor, and realized that he has another character. Lithgow plays 5 different roles. Carter Nix, the brother, I do believe, and his father. Yeah, he has connections with his father, and then Margot, who is like this whole nother person. Yeah, and it keeps it hidden until the ending, until that very end of the movie. It's really good. Like, it's just when you got to that ending is really what just made this generic. Like I said, this is not a bad movie. I will easily say this is a complete letdown from director Brian De Palma. And what also made this a complete letdown was, like I said, it was directed by Brian De Palma. It was produced by Gail Ann Hurd. Gail Ann Hurd produced this movie. That's really what tells. It's not bad. This is not the worst movie to watch. It's just the movie needed more time. Had this movie been made in 1993, been released in 1993 or 1994, I think this would have been a great 90s thriller. Now, this obviously was the theatrical cut, obviously, because I'm watching it on DVD. Screen Factory put out the director's cut, and for when I watch reviews, the director's cut is even worse than the theatrical cut. I don't want to dump on this movie, but it's not bad. Hear me out, guys. This movie is not bad. This movie is fun for what it is. It's okay. It's what I expect a 90s thriller would do, especially in sort of a thriller horror. When it comes down to this is one of the biggest disappointments. I guess he was trying to do a Hitchcock. He was trying to De Palma back in the day was influenced by Alfred Hitchcock. This movie has a very Hitchcock feel. But like I said before, I don't want to dump on the movie. This isn't a bad movie. It's just generic. So, again, Lithgow's performance, phenomenal. But that's really the big positive. I will easily say, like I said, it's like the one scene, like there's another scene where he's like walking in and trying to turn on the light, and then he gets cut with a Proctor knife. And he's like bleeding. They want to know where Amy's at, their daughter. So, yeah. That's really, that scene alone is great. There's a lot of really good terrifying moments, lots of really good, like, I don't want to say jump scares. I hate using jump scares because jump scares, to be honest, are kind of dumb. They work in some things, but with a 90s thriller, they don't work all the time. Like I said, I don't want to say this is a bad movie. I can recommend this to anybody. But, again, generic. I think I already did mention everything I wanted to say about this movie. Yeah, it was also written by Brian De Palma. But, yeah, this was released in the tail end of 1992, I believe, August? I think August 2nd, 92. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything about it. If you want to check out this movie, I guess check this out. It's not horrible. This movie is not bad. I was entertained from the beginning. The very beginning, the middle, but when it comes down, when it got to that ending, it honestly just felt generic. So, a okay movie, a good movie killed by an ending. So, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So, yeah, let's rate the movie. It's close to say what do I give a Raising Cain. I originally was going to give this a 4 out of 5 while I was watching it, but I then changed my mind, and I'm going to give Raising Cain a 3 out of 5. I really wanted to like this movie a lot. I was thinking, oh, this movie's going to be De Palma going back to his roots, De Palma doing this sort of thrillers. But in the end, it just, I don't know. I think the problem is De Palma should have changed some different things. But as it stands, 3 out of 5 for sure. So, yeah. And that's all I have to say. And, yeah, that's all I have to say about Raising Cain. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. If you do like the content of the channel, you can head over to my YouTube page, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell so you can get all of my notifications on what movies I do cover on the channel or what I do review. So, yeah, I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you guys can check me out on Letterboxd as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, and as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.